Welcome back. I told you I wasn't kidding. To part 2 of Decades Memepalooza episode. This episode ran so long that we've cut it up into 2 parts, obviously, and we think the second part is almost better than the first. And I thought the first one was fantastic. So Ed, take it away, my man.
That far. Ed, give us another meme. Oh, this has got to be the judge.
Yeah, judge.
You could tell it's the judge because
it's not cropped out.
Got it and crop it.
Yeah.
God, Judge. Come on, you're better than that.
The best was this is 30 minutes.
I thought that was Ed's job.
Oh my God, Judge. Right after this, I'm coming over to show you how to fix it. My God. All right, Judge, explain your memes to us.
Well, it's a simple explanation. I just did it to piss off Gingrich.
Ed, can you put it up again? All right, so Judge, you say it's plain and simple. Jim, we'll let you obviously rebuttal.
Well, there's a couple things there. The shoes off at the airport is annoying. We've lost objectivity in almost all areas of society. And even the judge said when we were talking about transgenders, there has to be objectivity. Everybody's situation is different. So we did a huge upheaval, make everybody take off their shoes for one instant. That didn't make sense. As far as gun laws, you know my opinion. I mean, I think we have to prosecute the gun laws that we have, and we have to deal with the mental health. We have, Hunter Biden who lied and had a gun and then threw it away. I mean, if we can't set an example at that level, what good's it going to do? The gun thing to me has always been mental health. And we're letting out all kinds of people out of jail. And imagine if they go create gun violence after that. Whose fault is that? We have to start prosecuting criminals, locking up dangerous people, and using the laws that we have. And then we could talk about the next set of laws.
Judge, you want to respond?
Yeah, I think those are the same arguments that have been used for 20 years, and it's obviously not working. The simple fact of the matter is that we have too many guns per person here in the United States. We lead in gun deaths in all of the developed countries. Worldwide, we're right between Brazil and Venezuela for gun deaths. They almost catch up with us because of gang violence, and we've tried everything. Prayers and thoughts aren't working. Saying we need mental health care is not working. The fact of the matter is there's just too many guns in the United States. When England and Australia were faced with this, they did certain kinds of bans on automatic rifles and on certain kinds of pistols, and now their gun deaths are among the least in the world. I mean, it's obvious the United States is far and above any other developed country in gun deaths, and the reason is the number of guns out there.
Okay, I got Cruz and Jim are both shaking their heads.
I would like to point out I have like 15 guns, so it's not like I'm anti-gun.
So then what's like the regulation that you want to impose? Because you said that there's too many guns per people, but then proceeded to make a statement that you have 15 guns.
They can take some of my guns. I can one or two for big game hunting, 2 or 3 for bird hunting. Unless you're hunting with them, I see no purpose. I mean, it's not like the Russians are going to invade us and we're going to be out there with our guns and militias fighting them off. And just the fact that they say there's a Second Amendment right, that's not a legal argument at all. There is no Second Amendment right for individual citizens to have guns. That's for a well-regulated militia set out clearly. So there's not that right. It's just been interpreted that way, or it's a populistic way to link up the Second Amendment, which has no legal basis.
Jim,
but we do have a right to defend ourselves.
Not under the Second Amendment, you don't, unless you're in a well-regulated
I didn't say the Second Amendment. But if somebody breaks into my house, I don't have the right to defend myself? Yes or no? That's
state regulated, which goes beyond the Second Amendment rights. What I'm saying is the NRA other
I
people
live in
always
Florida, where I have the right to defend
Sure.
myself.
Idaho, you do also, but that's state regulated. That's not Second Amendment regulated.
Just get some
I didn't claim it was, though. That's what I'm saying.
Go ahead, Jimmy Mack.
I'll just tell him, Bill, just get some nunchucks. If somebody buck in, you handle it that way. I get it. You know, I'm a recent gun owner. I grew up around guns, never had the will to have one. And I don't agree with Judge. I've seen two different Red Dawns. We were once invaded by Russia, another one was by the North Korean, so it could happen. So, you know, I want to be ready. You know, and when it comes down to regulation, anybody with the name Jim or James should be able to carry guns. Everybody else shouldn't. We seem to be the most. So yeah, I'm all for that. But with the airplane, you know what? It's giving me a reason to wear sandals on a plane. You know, it's giving me that reason. You know, I used to just be gun cold, shoes on, let me get. No, I'm comfortable at the airport now. You know, I'm damn near in a bathrobe and pajamas because I'm just about to relax. You want me to relax? I'm gonna relax. You didn't even tell me to take off my shoes. I ain't got none on. Let's go.
We're gonna come back to the plane issue, but I want to hear Jim on the guns.
Well, the judge and I are never going to agree, but the first thing that I always say is you got to take out the suicides. That's over 60%. So that number drops off, and nobody on the left-wing media ever brings that up. They lump it all together, and it's pretty disgusting that we don't seem to care about the border, what's going on there, the rapes, the murder, the fentanyl, and we're focused on guns because we make it dramatic, and every time it comes up, we show it. But, you know, there is a side, you know, the judge lives in Idaho. How much crime is there here? Not much, especially up here, because nobody's going to break into your house. Almost everybody has a gun. So I'll always say, you know, I agree and I disagree. The things we've done aren't working, but we haven't done them. We haven't changed our mental health. We haven't cracked down on existing laws. So we can make new laws, and those are just taking away rights without knowing that they'll do anything because we haven't used the laws that we have yet.
Go ahead, Judge.
Well, it's true that suicides are 60%, but homicides are like 36%, 79% of which are used guns. So,
where
in the United States?
Where in the United States?
Throughout the United States.
Interstate.
What do you mean? I don't think you can isolate it, Rubio. You're going with statistics for the United States.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, if you start to look at the statistics, Jim's got 60% are suicides. Then you got, what'd you say, 37%? Yes. Where are those 37%? It's in your war zone cities.
I don't think there's any proof of that.
You can go, Judge. I'm going to buy you a plane ticket to Chicago.
Check Chicago.
Everybody keeps bringing up Chicago.
Well, they actually do have some very, very good statistics that are updated every single day. And have been for years.
And it's not just Chicago. It's
LA,
all the large
Philly,
all the gun-free zones.
What are you talking about? LA safe.
Florida.
All right, Ed, take us to commercial for me real quick. Then we're coming back with another meme.
Whatever you're trying to do with your life, whether you're trying to grow or heal something or get to that next level, it all comes back to your mind and understanding that your mind and your nervous system create a system. So I'm Carlin Fisher. I'm a mind sculpting consultant and speaker. I have a 90-day course I'd love to share with you in the link. Take care.
Welcome back to your favorite show, Decades, from the NGBN.TV community. You've got the judge, Bill Geiser, James Gingrich, Cruz Rubio, Jimmy Mack, and Ed is in the back doing something we don't know, but he's doing a hell of a job doing it. So one more thing, I wanted to come back, and this is another thing that the judge and I agree on, which is rare. The whole flight issue is now, like the judge just last week, what do you want? You went to TSA pre-check, where he got the pre-check, you spend $150 and you pay $150 or whatever it is, and then you can wear shoes and you don't have to empty your bag and all that crap. How does that make sense? Am I the only one that, because I think, Bill, you probably fly just as much as I do, maybe a little bit less, but I fly enough now where, okay, so that you've got this pompous line of TSA pre-checks, clear, vision, whatever it is. I don't have to take off anything. My bag is a massive backpack that I just throw in. It goes through some super Willy Wonka scanner and I'm good to go. Are we saying that like the terrorists can't do that? What am I missing here? I don't understand that. Bill?
I'm not understanding the question you're asking.
Well, what I'm saying is like we did this whole thing of like, okay, this guy, the shoe bomber, he has bad shoe. Okay, we got to take shoes off. But the government says then, okay, here's $150. You're fine. How does that make sense?
Well, I think in the case of TSA, they're doing a deeper background check on you. You know, I mean, we all did. We had to go in for a personal interview. We have to update that once every 5 years. So I think it's a deeper amount of due diligence. So to equate that with the way we do guns today, I think there's two different levels of scrutiny. And you know what? If the requirement to buy a gun got elevated to a higher level of due diligence, I'd be okay with that. The problem is the bad guys got all the guns anyway. You know, they're not standing in line waiting for the due diligence to be done before they pick their gun up. There's too many ways to get a gun. So, you know, I think one of the issues we have with just looking and regulating at gun purchases is you penalize the people like us who may own guns, but we're buying them legally. We're not out there trying to kill people. It's the bad guys that we want to get separate from the guns. And, you know, we talked about this a couple of episodes ago. I love what El Salvador is doing. Declare war on the gangs. You know?
Yeah, I don't think Judge was here for that episode. Judge, did you read about what El Salvador is doing with their prison?
No.
Bill, give him the Cliff Notes version.
I would say the Cliff Notes version is they have declared war on gangs. Two things have changed. Number one, they went from probably the number one or number two country in the world in terms of homicides to almost nothing. But number two, civil rights have gotten trampled. You know, I mean, there's a trade-off there. But, you know, by and large, when you poll the people, they're saying, hey, we're happy. We can walk outside. We're not afraid. So, I mean, they went hardcore to solve this problem.
Judge, what Bill forgot to tell you is they created a super prison that I think holds 40,000 people, and they shoved literally every gang member possible in it. And I mean, they're instead of like 2 people to a cell, they put like 6. I think they're just rolling around in like
100 to a cell block, 2 toilets.
Yeah, I mean, they're treating them like animals, but they've got rid of their crime basically because they threw all of them in there.
They armed people as well too, didn't they?
I don't know about that.
Well, the cops and the militia, the army, all went together, and I mean, literally, it was a war. But I mean, you know, do we have the political will to do that? No, I don't see that happening here.
And I see you're doing 45 minutes. We're going to keep going because it's going to be a 2-part show. Give me another spicy meme. Oh.
Judge, not corrupt.
No, this is Jimmy Mack.
Jimmy Mack.
Jimmy Mack.
No, Jimmy Mack.
Oh, that's
Jimmy
me.
Mack, is it you?
Yeah, that's me.
All right, Jimmy Mack, please explain it to us because I'm glad you picked this one. This is a good one.
I explain it. I like this one because it's just something that happened with us at UCLA. I remember one time I had a great practice, and our favorite receiver coach, you know that one. I want to say his name, Rubio. He comes up to me and goes, "Hey, you're not giving enough effort in practice." And I'm like, "What? I just caught like 6 balls, scored a couple of times." And right as he did that, one of our white receivers dove for a ball. And he goes, "That's the type of effort I want." Not that he caught the ball, not that he did anything. It's just the perception and reality of athletics. We always think that when we look at certain things, we'll base our judgment and our perception of that in color. And I say that because it's like he told me I'm effortless when I do that. I should give more effort. But when a guy gave effort, he didn't complete the task. He was praised for that. And I just had to see like, okay, he wants me to be more like that when I don't have to be. So it's one of those things like with Caitlin Clark and the Angel Reese thing where she did this. One of them, it was so many excuses made for Caitlin Clark why she did this, and then, and you give it in a wider perspective, she did the exact same thing that Angel Reese did. She taunted another player by doing that. But in one instance, it was, oh, she's a great competitor and this and this. And the other one was she's classless. I mean, even Keith Olbermann, who I thought was a very brilliant, and when it came to sports and understanding context of the sport, he called her classless and an idiot. So I just think this is one of these things like this is still a problem in our country. We don't look at these people, especially with our women, our female athletes as competitors. We look at them as, hey, that one is more innocent than that one. This one should get more favored than that one. And it mucks up our sports. It makes it more political. It makes it racism. And, you know, a locker room, we don't care about race. We care about brotherhood. We care about each other. You know, we love each other no matter what. I was just hanging out with Andy Myers Saturday. You know, Andy Myers is a white guy from Fontana. I'm a black guy from LA. We come from two different worlds, but when we see each other as all love all the time. So, I mean, I think when we take sports and we politicize it, or we try to make it where we make it coloristic, we ruin what the beauty of the sport is.
Okay, so that brings up a good point, Jimmy Mack. And Bill, I got you. I'm coming to you right next. How much do you think of that was just stoked to create racism? Because you're literally saying that you're not racist. You're hanging out with the biggest cracker possible, Myers, 6'6", 350 from Kentucky. Okay, and you're obviously not racist. If you are, you're a terrible racist. If he is, he's a terrible racist as well. Okay, so how much do you think they saw two people doing this, and the ESPN and all was like, oh, showtime. We can run this. We can have Keith Olbermann talk about it. We can do this.
Yeah, it's about selling headlines. They try to, instead of making it the beauty of it, because it was the most watched women's final game ever. And they wanted to make it a bigger headline and had people talking about it for days afterwards. And you killed the beauty of it, because it was a beautiful. Those are two great players. They will be making a little bit of money in the WNBA. They actually make more money now in college than they will do in the WNBA. And you took such a beautiful thing and we mucked it up so bad. And it just they did it to create a headline. They wanted to talk about it. They wanted to make it bigger than what just a national championship game that we all were proud to watch and witness.
Bill Geiser.
I had no problem with it. I'm kind of with Jimmy Mack here at one level. But then I disagree with them on another. First of all, they're great competitors, great players. I have no problem at all, sort of the heat of battle kind of thing. But what I want to really point out is Angel Reese is a business genius.
Mm-hmm.
Give her $1 million right now. She just earned it. This was the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird moment for women's basketball. I think they're both coming back, right? They're both playing at least one more season.
Yes.
My prediction is it'll be the most watched women's collegiate game in history by 1,000,000%. And when they both go pro, they're both going to get paid buku amount of money because they just put women's basketball on the map. It was sheer business brilliance. Kudos to them.
Cruz, that's right around your age group. What was your thoughts on that?
I have no problem with her doing it, but I'm not going to sit here and say it's the same because it's not. I don't remember their name. The girl from Iowa, she did it in at a point of the game where it was a close scoring game and it lasted about 5 seconds, right? Little hand motion, nothing big, right? The girl from LSU, she's being a fan at that point of Caitlin Clark. She's going up to her, she's walking her to her bench, doing the whole hand thing. And I'm a long snapper, so I don't get a lot of shit talked to me. But I mean, I would handle that worse than Caitlin Clark went and handled it. I don't think that there should be as big of an issue around it, like Jimmy said. I think that it's two people being competitive, but it's not the same thing at all whatsoever.
Jim Gingrich?
Well, I'm an old guy. I'm going to say we solve this in one way. They're not allowed to taunt or celebrate. I've never liked that period. I think, especially when someone does a little celebration in the end zone and the game's not over. I don't like any of this. I think it's poor sportsmanship, and we wouldn't be having this debate if they didn't allow that. I think play the game, be humble. Winner's the winner, loser's the loser. Take all that crap out of it. I don't see a need for it. But I'm in the minority.
It's fun.
I was going to say Judge is the oldest, but you're clearly the oldest right now with that mindset. Go ahead, Jimmy Mack.
Just a remark with Cruz. I mean, but it's not the same until you look at it in a broader perspective, because Caitlin Clark did tell the girl from Louisville that she taunted with that. with not that much time left in the game, up by 15, shut the F up. You're down by 15. She basically told that girl that. So we only see this gesture, but she was giving it to that girl, Haley Van Lift from Louisville, who's an excellent player, balled her butt off in that game, and they got whooped by 15 points. So, I mean, and I know Angel Reese was doing the excessive of pointing to the ring finger, but Joe Burrow did the same thing when LSU won the national title. Ring me, give me my ring. So I think sometimes, like, I'm kind of with Jim Gingrich. I never talk trash to people. If you talk trash to me, that just made me want to play harder. So that
You
made
were
me
111 pounds. Who could you talk trash to? My God, half the cheerleading squad weighed more than you. My left leg weighed more than you as a senior.
I mean, it's just one of these things in competitive sports, man. As competitors, man, like people would think, like I tell people, SC, UCLA, we're rivals, but we party together. Those are our guys. Some of us went to high school. Some of us live with each other. You know, so it's one of those things when you're in the field of play. Things are going to be said, things are going to be, looked upon differently, but it's the broader picture and the context of it that we always got to put in perspective. Those girls played against each other before when she was at Maryland, when Angel Reese was at Maryland. She beat Iowa twice when she was at Maryland. But because there was such a big deal being made about it, it put a spotlight on that. They've played each other before.
All right, let's talk to the judge.
They just made it bigger than what it was.
We'll get his opinion.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Caitlin Clark said that she had no problem with it. So
yeah,
if she doesn't have a problem with it, then I don't have a problem with it.
I think a true competitor wouldn't.
Yeah.
Ed, finish us off with a real spicy meme. Oh. That's got to be Bill Geiser.
Yeah.
Jimmy Max
grinding his teeth. Go with Bill. I'm going to go with Bill.
Cruz,
I'll
Bill,
go with
Judge,
Jim.
Bill.
I'm going to go with Jim.
Gingrich?
Who is it?
Is Gingrich?
It's me.
Oh.
Okay. It's Jim.
All right, Jim. Please explain it to us like we don't know.
Well, there's certainly a trend towards socialism, and people think that it's good for the country. I think the first problem is the educational system at times is falling down. I've talked to a lot of people Cruz's age are like, I hate socialism. I mean, we're a republic, we're a democracy. Well, we're a part socialist and democracy mix. We have Medicare, we have Social Security, and I agree with those parts of it. We need to take care of those who can't take care of themselves. But this dream that it works is, it doesn't. We had UK, India, Israel tried it, didn't work. I'm going to be Joe since he's not here. This was from Charles Cook. There is no sense in which socialism can be made compatible with democracy as it is understood in the West. At worst, socialism eats democracy and is swiftly transmuted into tyranny. At best, socialism stamps out individual agency, places civil society in a straitjacket of uniform size, and turns representative government into a chimera. I'm not sure I know what it means. I don't know how to say it, but anyway, I don't think it's healthy for us. It's never worked out well for anybody. Venezuela is probably the most recent one. They destroyed everything in there. And to me, it's funny, the people that advocate the left, they don't realize they're going to be eating rabbits like everybody else. There was another meme I almost used that said socialism, everything's free. It was a supermarket, but the shelves were empty, but we're out of everything. So I don't see how people are advocating a shift towards this when it's never worked out for anybody.
Judge, what's your thoughts on that meme?
I don't know what the heck he's talking about. I don't know what shift we're seeing towards socialism. If it's Medicare or Medicaid, then I think that's certainly necessary. I think you've got to care for the people in your country. I don't see any big shift towards socialism. I have no fear of it. I don't think we're there.
Go ahead, Cruz. I think they were trying. I think the whole Bernie Sanders, where he admitted he was a socialist, and then as soon as the Democratic Party found out that he was actually getting in the lead, they Epsteined him out of the picture. Go ahead, Cruz.
They didn't ban him.
As someone who's in their 20s and in college, not to be rude to the judge, but you could not be farther wrong. There are extreme amounts of youth, especially around my age range, that believe socialism is the way to go, and it's going to catch a large momentum shift here very soon, I believe. I had a kid in my class yesterday who said that we should abolish capitalism because it's killed more people than all the world wars combined. So there is a massive shift towards socialism. I don't know why or for whatever reason. I think everyone just wants to whine about how they don't have stuff and then they want their free stuff. But at the same time, it lacks competitive value. So no one's going to want to do the hardworking jobs. Everyone's going to want to do the easy ones when it comes to a socialist society. So, but yeah, at the end of the day, there is a massive shift towards socialism.
Jimmy Mack, you deal with the youth too, and you're nodding your head. What's going on?
Being a person that teach government and teach all the different types of governments and economic systems that go along with it, the biggest problem with all governments is the people. No matter what government is in power or what's going on, somebody's going to have a complaint and they're going to want something different. If we brought about socialism, which sounds absolutely amazing when you put it in theory, somebody's going to mess it up. Somebody's somewhere along the line is going to do something that's going to mess it all up. So right now you should just have a hybrid of everything. Something that's working for the people. And right now, capitalism isn't working for everybody. Socialism, like Gingrich said, there's a lot of countries we've seen where they had socialism going along with communism, and it was terrible for those people. This is just a terrible system when it comes down to it. And like Cruz said, who's going to want to work the menial jobs? Who's going to sacrifice for the most? So right now, I love that. I need that meme sent to me. I love that. So the next time I'm back in the classroom, I can use that, because it does seem like sunshine and rainbows, but you will have a boot stomping you out. Some of your freedoms are going to be taken away. Some of the things that make you a better individual will be taken away. So that meme is powerful to me. I love it. And I'm a big proponent for socialism, but also I understand that with the way the human beings are, it's not going to work.
Let's talk to the biggest capitalist besides myself on this. Go ahead, Bill.
Jimmy Mack just hit on something. I think it boils down to human nature. We're different. We have different motivations. Some of us want things more than others. And that's just part of life. I don't think neutralizing the playing field is the answer to it. I'm aware of the conversation that people say, well, capitalism doesn't work. But I've yet to see one example where socialism does. If I had to sum it up, I'm kind of an old school Ronald Reagan kind of guy when it comes to the 9 most dangerous, words that you can hear spoken are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
That's the judge's ringtone.
I want to know what this thread is. How many socialist people have we elected in the representatives or the Senate? I don't see many.
It's the youth.
Too many.
It's the youth, Judge. That's why it says Western youth. There's a big drive and push towards that.
They're apparently not voting, right, Cruz?
Well, not as of right now, because there's no one that's a socialist that could be elected. I mean, look who the liberals put in office. I mean, he's not a socialist by any means. I mean, I guarantee you, if you were to put Bernie Sanders up in office, he would get a ton of votes because of how many youth socialists there truly are. And I mean, you can go to Moscow, Idaho, University of Idaho, go into any political science class. I guarantee you, there's gonna be a drive for socialism within there. Because
I think he beat Hillary, but the Democratic Party kind of pulled the rug out from underneath.
That's what I said.
Wanted her to run against Trump.
Yeah. Guys, this was fantastic. I'm going to just recap it for all of us. I think the best part about this was that we all saw different memes from different people. I think it was kind of funny that we almost predicted every single one of them from each person. I think that shows that we know each other pretty darn well. And I think what's good, and I think the world needs a lot more of, is that none of us essentially got super butthurt about it. Like, okay, you got this one, and it was obviously against guns, and the judge even tried to get James, goaded a little bit. And I think we were all quote unquote man enough to just handle it and listen to the other side. Even if you didn't agree, you can still understand where that person is coming from. And I think that's what we want from this show over and over. That's why we try to exemplify it. That's why we get, if you guys are on LinkedIn and social media, I'm getting a lot of messages saying, we really love the show. And we love how you guys do it, because it's a good example for us, my family, and our friends. So you guys are doing a great job. A big cheers to everybody. Ed, you can talk again now. Who's the winner?
Yay. The winner tonight is going to be Jimmy Mack.
What? 2, baby. I got 2 of them.
Bob Jimmy.
That's crap.
Hey, Jimmy Mack.
On that note, I want everyone to look at Jimmy Mack, the judge, and Bill, and try to picture them as females yet again. On that note, we're out. Peace out, everyone.
My daughter did not
Enjoy
like
Decades
that.
on NGBN.
Hey, Rubio, my daughter did not like that at all. Everybody says she looks just like me with hair.